All right, this will be a 50-50 format. So you're gonna have each circuit with 3 stations, 3 exercises. You'll work 50 seconds 1, 50 seconds 2, 50 seconds 3, then back to the first one, another 50, 50, 50. So it's 5-minute circuit, no rest built into that. Then you get the 50-second break, then move to the next circuit, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. Equipment that you'll need here. You'll want some kind of medium weight dumbbells for a curl, it'll be an alternated curl. You're gonna have a bent over row as well, so that can be the heaviest weight, heaviest object that you have for those. You'll need some sliders for a clock press down on the floor. You'll need a wall, some space on the wall for some tricep push-ups. And then you'll also need a bench or a chair, some object that you're gonna be sitting to, so figure out what height works best for you. So first circuit, we've got some core work in here. We're gonna start out with the Superman or Superwoman. We're gonna have a marching plank and then core extensions on your back. So those are the first 3. We'll go in about 10 seconds here, starting with the Superman or Superwoman.
Ben's got a good demo here of that super individual. Could be opposite arm and opposite leg, and or pull all 4 limbs off the ground at the same time. If you do pull all 4, be mindful that it is quite a load in that low back. So it's a very gentle glute squeeze, a little bit of a shoulder draw, but you are using the glute as the prime mover, not arching the back. Second exercise is going to be that marching plank, so stay down on your stomach there, but get into a plank position. 5 seconds out. And from your forearms and from your toes, we're going to continue to move opposites, left and right, right and left. You don't need to travel forward too far or back too far. Just get a little bit of real estate. Come forward. When you're finished forward, come back. You're pushing backward in the forearms here to drive the body back away. And then as you head forward, you are pulling through the forearms, but also pushing through the ankles. So it's almost like a little bit of an ankle pop. Think about your low back. Keep it nice and flat. 15 seconds out. Try to keep the hips from rotating. If it starts to beat you up, just hold a static plank for a minute. Your next exercise, you'll roll onto your back for core extensions. The intent here is similar to the dead bug, and that low back is driven down tight. The arms and legs are going to slowly fall out into space. Once you've reached kind of the end point of your abilities, draw it all back together. Head can stay planted, rib cage stays pressed down. Belly stays drawn in, low back stays pressed. Don't worry too much about the speed here. Take your time through the movement, feel it out. If you feel that you got too far in the last rep, shorten it up a little bit. If you feel like you're gaining some abilities as we go, allow everything to separate just a little more each time, but be mindful of what you're doing. 5 seconds out, we'll go back to our first exercise, this super individual 2. Roll back on stomach, opposite arm, opposite leg. If Ben and I seem peppy in this workout, it's because it's morning. It's our first real morning workout we've been able to coordinate. And the coffee is fresh and the coffee is strong. A mighty good day to you. 20 seconds out here. As a reminder, after this Superman, we'll go into the marching plank again. These 3 exercises together, pretty good warm up. Get the glutes going, got the low back warmed up a bit, shoulders are warmed up, core is definitely warmed up, hips are warmed up. Not necessarily an overload in any one area, lots of core on all, but it should be a shared effort throughout the body. 30 seconds out. to control your breathing here. Keep the body moving. 10 seconds remaining. And then we'll roll on our back for our last thing of this 3-part series, core extensions. 5. If these don't feel bad, maybe your core is stronger, perhaps your limb length is a bit shorter, you're welcome to hold some weight in the feet and or in the hands, but really maintain that packed low back. Some of you guys could probably hold like 30 pounds, but it might not be as crisp. So just hold a light weight if you're gonna add something to it. Give it a try, keep that low back down, take your time. 15 seconds, and then we'll take a 50-second rest period. 5. 3, we're going to go with hand release push-ups, so chest to floor, hands up, hands down, drop in, remove, press, if that bugs your wrists, just do a nice deep push-up. Don't worry about getting the hands off the floor. I'm going to go through a single leg alternating curl. If you don't have weights that are appropriate for that, you can do a front side raise instead, or anything from a single leg. You can do single leg RDL if you want. The next thing is a low lateral lunge. We'll hold the base to one side, press across, press across, press across. But in 5 seconds, we'll go into hand release push-up. So with these, you're getting all the way down to the floor in order to do that hand release. You don't need to pick the hands up too far, but just taking all the weight off of the upper body. In good plank position throughout, so straight line down the shoulders, hips, knees, down to the feet. Exhale every time you push away. $18 seconds to go. And you're gonna be up to those curls. So you'll need to have those weights, weighted objects, dumbbells, whatever you're using ready. 7 seconds to go. 2, 1. So you'll be on one leg for this one. Keep that other knee out in front. So perfect posture, and then you get that alternated curl in. So keeping the chest up the whole time. You can be looking straight forward or slightly down out in front of you. Think about glute tight on that down leg especially. And just good tension throughout the entire body. 20 seconds to go. Last 10, and then you go down to that low lateral lunge for the next one. 3, 2, 1. Set those weights down, get a good wide base with your feet. Sitting down to one side, and then shifting to the other. So this is a little different than some of our other lateral lunge or lateral squat where you actually come up and down on each rep. This one you're staying low. So the shoulders and the head should stay at the same level, same height the whole time as you go side to side. So it's a good mobility drill. You'll feel some on the inside of that straight leg. You'll feel pretty constant tension in your legs and your quads, and then hopefully in your butt as well as you keep some weight in the heels. 12 seconds to go, then you'll be back on to those hand releasing push-ups. 2, 1, and down to the floor. Exhale as you drive those palms into the ground. And as with all of our push-ups, you can always go down to your knees at any point when you need to. We'd rather see you go to your knees and keep good form than to start getting really sloppy from your toes. 30 seconds to go. And you're just looking straight down at the floor in front of you. Don't try to lift that chin up too high.
but also don't let that forehead drop either, where that's not gonna be hitting the floor. 15 seconds to go. And after these, you'll go back up into that single leg alternated curl. So you have those weights ready to go, 5 seconds left. So you're gonna switch sides, get that other knee up, keeping that out in front of the hips. Really good posture. So it should be a nice straight line from the foot down on the floor all the way up through the top of the head. And the toes on that up leg can be pulled up towards your knees too. "20 seconds to go. Arms should be getting a good burn by now, and then a lot of stability on that down leg too. 12 seconds, then you'll finish up with that low lateral lunge. Technically a squat. 3, 2, 1. So same wide base. And that side that you're sitting into, you want to make sure you keep a lot of weight in the heel on that one. If you need to lift your toes up on that straight leg a little bit, that's fine. But the side that we're sitting into, we want to keep good balance and keep good pressure in the heel, but also some weight in the toes too. Everything's pushed down into the floor. 20 seconds left, and you're keeping good posture with the upper body, so we're not getting slouched forward with the shoulders or the chest. 12 seconds, and you'll have a 50-second break coming up after this. Three, 2, 1, and good. 50 off. And next circuit, you shouldn't need any equipment for this one. You're gonna have an in and out squat jump. You're gonna have mountain climbers without discs if you want discs for those. If you prefer it that way, you can use discs. It's not that big of a deal. But it is nice to mix it up, sometimes with, sometimes without. And then the last one is gonna be an eccentric push-up. So you'll just be down on the floor. So start about 10 seconds with those in-out squat jumps. Three, 2.
We've done these before. They're really easy. Ben's facial expression probably won't change throughout this. He'll just stay in the zone. Little tap, narrow, nice big squat.
Can I hold you on my shoulders?
Oh yeah, there you go. That tap in the middle is about as quick as you can make it, just a little toe tap and then pop out into that squat. The next thing is gonna be mountain climbers. We're gonna go no discs in here. If you like discs better, you're welcome to them. But in 15 seconds, dropping into mountain climbers. This is not a wide, it's not a 45-degree mountain climber, but the abs stay tight regardless. 2. Mountain climbers here, guys. And some people like to have the feet in kind of that split base, and they pop the hips, pop the hips, pop the hips. So if you like that pattern better, fantastic. If you like just a simple toe touch, or the toe drag, or the toe tap, this version here is great too. Abs stay tight. Think about kind of pulling the hips under the body, ribs stay down, lats are gonna stay tight as well, so shoulders don't sneak up. 20 seconds out, maybe 2 or 3 deep breaths, settle back into the effort. Next thing, stay in this push-up position you're already in, but we'll go eccentric push-ups. If we can, we'll go down from our toes, drop to knees and press up. 2. Nice slow drop, think maybe 5 to 8 seconds on the way down. Lats again are tight, everything driving down. To knees here if you'd like. Up quickly, take a breath, reset the hips, reset the core, get the glutes snug. Nice slow drop. Maybe shoot for 5 to 8 reps here within this 50-second bout. We are just about halfway there now. Good control. After these eccentric push-ups, we're back to the in-out squat jumps. We'll be on our feet, tap narrow, squat wide, 10 seconds, last rep here. If you have extra time, slow it down, keep your chest off the floor, 5, 2, nice job guys, up on your feet, good job Ben. And out squat jumps, tap narrow, pop, sit wide. Could be worse, you could have a band. 30 seconds. While we are landing first on our toes, we are definitely finding a little bit of heels at the end of that squat. So as we kind of reach the depth in our squat, transfer the weight back, try to absorb the impact, 15 seconds out, and then mountain climbers again. 5. Mountain climbers. Got that bench right behind you, Ben. I don't know if you felt it. Same cues, guys. Core stays tight. Hips are pulled in. Ribs are pulled down. You could regress to a single leg. Ben's got that demo now. One knee, one knee. You can almost keep a little more core activation on there, at least intentional core activation. 15 seconds out. Lats are tight. Share the weight, hands and feet. 10. A little surge to finish. After this, eccentric push-ups. 5, 2. Get that first rep in. Nice slow drop. Remember the lats, guys. Lats are tight. Activate, drive the shoulders down. Core stays snug. Touch and go. Big breath. Glutes tight. 25 seconds. If you need to, come down on your knees. Up on knees, sure. Down on knees is great as well. Really control that pace. 15 seconds out, and then a 50-second rest. 5. It's a good set. Some air. You guys will need your discs for this next exercise. We're going to do a clock press. If you think about it, TRX driven, one hand drops into that push-up, the other one chest fly, 45 degrees. Press your both return, same thing. I'll give you an early demo. From a push-up position, I'm going to go for my knees for sure. I'm going to reach out, press here, now back in, switch sides. If you can't get back up, come down slow. From this position, draw the hand in, back to a push-up.
It's going about 5 seconds. So it's important to keep that hand position on the stationary hand where it's nice and under your chest, under your shoulders, so that's not going to be sliding at all as you put a lot of weight into it. And it's definitely better to go from the knees for most people on this one. The toes get really, really hard and you end up getting pretty bad with your form a lot of times. So 20 seconds left. You're keeping some weight on both arms. It's not totally a single arm push-up, but you are definitely keeping a little more on that stationary hand. Going for good depth on each one. 10 seconds, and the next one's gonna be up on your feet for a mini skater. So you'll just need a little bit of space around you for that one. 3, 2, 1. Make sure the sliders are out of the way for these. Don't risk landing on one of those. And you're not trying to cover a lot of distance here. It's just a little shuffle to the side. Reach that back foot behind you. Try not to use the back toe. If you need it once in a while for some balance, that's great, but let's try to avoid that as much as possible. So it's pretty much a single leg squat, almost a single leg RDL on that one leg. Getting the chest up a little bit in the middle as you come up. Reaching towards that opposite foot. Got 16 seconds left. Sitting that butt back. And then you're gonna have squat pulses as your third one in the circuit. So you'll be on your feet again, 5 seconds. So the pulses are just staying low, not coming all the way up to that standing position. You're sitting that butt back, you're pretty much staying in that bottom half of the rep. Keeping good balance on your feet, so you got a lot of weight in the heels, but you're not picking the toes up. You're still keeping some pressure there, so you're balanced, weight centered. And just breathing throughout these. It might not be a breath every rep, might be every 2 or 3 reps, depending on your speed. 15 seconds to go. Then you'll be back down to those clock presses, those one-sided push-ups with the sliders. 7, 2, 1, and down to the floor again. And with the rest of our push-ups too, make sure that head's not dropping too low. We want the chest to be the first thing that comes down to the floor. You've got good core tension, so your abs are working the whole time on this one too, not arching the low back. 25 seconds. And tempo on this can be variable. See how you're feeling. You can slow it down a little bit, or you can try to get a lot of reps into if you're feeling strong with these. 10 seconds left. You'll feel a little stretch in that chest and shoulder on this reaching side. 2, 1, up to your feet. Get your sliders out of your way. Mini skaters coming up next. Soft landing on these. There's really pretty much no noise on these. And if you're on carpet, it should be extra soft. But again, you're not going for distance. These are a little different than the regular skaters. You're covering maybe a 2 to 3 foot area with your feet side to side. $18 seconds to go, and then you'll have those squat pulses as your third one, and then we'll get a break after that. Five. So down into that squat position, shake your booty a little bit if you need to. And knees stay pointed out towards the toes too. So just like with any of our other squats or jumps, we don't let those knees cave in towards each other. You always want to keep them pushed out towards the toes. That gets a little extra glute activation. Getting a good burn in the legs here, the quads, the glutes. 20 seconds to go, and then you'll get that 50-second break. Last 5. Just waving to our friends out there. All right, 50 break. Nice circuit there. So next circuit, the only thing you'll need is some wall space for our tricep push-ups. So make sure you have some clear wall space so you can use something that's stable. But we're gonna start out with a plank from your elbows with the toe tap, so out to the sides. We're gonna have a lunge base, pulse and hop for the second one, and then the tricep push-ups for the third one. So we'll go in 15, starting in that plank position here.
Nice tight plank position, guys. Lats stay tight. I'm gonna do a lot of lats today just to make sure they're active. Core is obviously tight. That lateral tap's very light. Think about using the glute to pick that foot up. So as we go to reach laterally, use your glute, pull the foot up, set it out lightly to the side. 20 seconds out here. The hips shouldn't be moving much off the midline of the body. Hopefully if there's any movement, it's minimal as far as rotation as well. Low back's nice and stable. Lunge base, pulse, and hop coming up next. Nice big lunge base, drop that back knee down. Come up out of that pulse, little hop. You'll definitely want the arms to assist here. And that back knee depth is going to be one of the dictators of the effort. So the more depth you get in that back knee, the harder it's going to get. 30 seconds out. If you're in a position where you're not going to jump, whether it's injuries or the fact that you are making too much noise for neighbors, just pulse and stand tall, or just stay down for 50 seconds with pulses. We're not going to do that because that's hard. 15 seconds out. Next thing, we'll turn around, or Ben will turn around for wall triceps. If you don't have a good wall, do some dips instead. 5, 2, really just need probably 2 foot of distance on the wall. Hands about head height, drop in. You might elbow tap, you might not, press back out. While we're here, a lot of people on skull crushers have a tendency to leave their hips stationary, and they'll drop the torso in like that. If it feels easy, take your hips with you. Think about almost initiating. Hip bones are pushing forward, glutes are tight. You're in kind of the same position you would be in with a row, an inverted row. The body's long and snug and nothing's moving without everything else. You'll inhale down, press, exhale. Moving the hands up would make it a bit easier. Moving the hands down a bit harder. Also position yourself with your feet forward or backwards changes the effort as well. After wall tricep, plank with lateral tap again. So plank position, kick that foot out, use the glute to lift. "30 seconds out. Think about having your favorite beverage on your back. I'll usually say kid friendly or not. Try not to tip that beverage over. So nice and still in the body. If it gets hard, go to a standard plank, motionless. 5 seconds here, and then we're on that pulse and hop from a lunge base. 2. Make sure you switch legs. A little pulse, a little hop, yes. And if you're one of those who finds this not to be hard, then take the hands across the chest or on top of your head, leave the hands out of it. Don't use the arms to initiate or to assist. It becomes harder then. 20 seconds out.
Who is this not hard for?
I don't know. I was trying to think of a couple people that might be signed up that might be like, oh yeah. I'm not going to drop any names or anything, but there are a couple of you guys out there that are a little crazy. 2. Wall triceps again. Walking the feet forward would make it easier. Walking the feet back harder. But one good thing to focus on is just taking hip bones with you. So take the body as a unit. Draw it all in. Press back out. 30 seconds here. And then we'll get a rest for 50. "15 seconds. 10. 2. Good rest for 50.
Nice core circuit.
Yeah, we've done this core series before in class as part of our 50-50.
over here by the squat racks, and you guys love it. That's what I'm told. You guys are usually sore afterwards. So we have 90-degree crunches, which means hips are 90, knees are 90, feet are 90, sure. Bicycles paired up with those. If your quads are already a bit warm, you'll feel a lot of quads just in a static position. And then bicycles, and then single leg V-ups. So we'll go about 5 minutes of core.
So 90-degree crunch here. Hips at 90 degrees, so those knees are pointed straight up away from the hips. Knees are at 90 degrees, so those feet kind of straight out away from the knee. And then a good controlled crunch on these. If you've done crunches in here before at all, you know that we like to do them with very good control and not overdoing the range of motion either. So we're keeping the tension in the abs and make sure the focus is in the abs the whole time and not trying to just sit up as far as you can, not trying to round that back as much as possible, but just get the tension in the core. So you got 10 seconds to go. You'll have the bicycles next, so you'll pretty much just be in the same exact position. 3, 2, 1. Now you're reaching that elbow across your body towards your opposite knee. No need to rush through these either. Some people are used to just cranking them out. Let's keep them under control. Reaching that leg out as far as you can on each one too. And when you're doing a circuit like this, that's all core. If you're feeling your low back a little bit, come down, take a short break. Don't be afraid to take a small break here and there when you need to make sure we're keeping the focus on the abs and you're not getting it weird in your low back or hips or anything like that. 15 seconds to go. Then you have the single leg V-ups. So you'll be staying down on the floor again. 6, 2, 1. So now the single leg V-ups, we've done these a bit before. You've got the options to sit all the way up with it. That's going to be more challenging and more aggressive on the back too. You can keep it more of a crunching movement where you're just getting the shoulders up off the floor a little, but you're keeping that low back pushed down. You can make some adjustments by bending the knees on this one. That shortens that lever out a little bit. But be very controlled on these, especially being the last of the 3 core ones in this. If you're feeling your low back, keep it to a small range of motion. Keep it more to a mini crunch. 12 seconds left, and then you'll be back to those 90-degree crunches. 4. If you're not feeling your abs by now, there's something wrong with you. And you can lightly support the head on that. You don't want to be pulling on your head and neck, or you can end up straining the neck a little bit on these. So a little support. And doesn't need to be a fast tempo on these. You're just lifting that chest up, keeping those knees at 90 the whole time. And again, at any point, if you just need to come down for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, to just give the body a little air, let the abs relax just a little bit, and then get back into it. So another 10 seconds on these. If hip flexors are cramping up or anything, you can bring those feet down to the floor for the crunches too. 3, 2, 1, into the bicycle, so staying down. Now get those legs to reach out. Pushing that low back into the floor, so we want the abs to be doing the most work, not just feeling all hip flexors on this one. You can keep one foot down on the floor there and do that crossover crunch, especially if the hip flexors are getting a little bit irritated on these. And consistent breathing, 25 seconds to go. 18. If I were doing this circuit, you'd see 50 seconds of laying down, and then maybe 10 seconds of work, and then 50 laying down. Last 5. All right, last 50 on this one. We'll have those single leg V-ups. Then you get the break. So under control, you can bend the knees as much as you need to on this. You can leave that other foot down on the floor. Arms are coming up to that leg. but not trying to use all momentum with the arms either. They can guide the movement, but not just throwing your arms as hard as you can up towards the ceiling. 20 left.
Really just trying to make sure I don't overdo today. So my core is too sore. Then
Last 12. Two, one, and enjoy how your abs are going to feel for the next day or two after that one. Thanks for doing that one, Kyle.
I needed it. I gotta wake up every once in a while.
So, on to the last circuit here. You're going to need bench, couch, chair. Yes. So something that you're going to be sitting your butt down to. So remember to find the right height with that. Stack up pillows or stack up books or anything like that. You need to find the right height. You're also going to need a weight. This can be the heaviest object that you have, heaviest weighted object, for some bent over rows. And then we're going to have a pillar push-up in the middle there, which would be a core one down on the floor.
3 seconds.
What is this, pistols?
Alright guys, 3 different leg positions here out of Ben's left leg. It could be crimped and parallel or mirroring the leg that is doing all the work. It could be extended. That might give you a little more left quad if you want that or not. And then also left heel could be on the floor. That left heel on the floor will kind of allow you to use that left hamstring as some assistance. So you should be able to get a little more depth in that position. Also from a stability standpoint, it would assist you so you're not as unstable. 10 seconds. After pistol squats, it's the pillar push-up. So from a plank position, we'll walk up, up, down, down in the hands. 2. This could be kneeling as well. But from forearms, up, up, down, down. At some point, you're going to want to switch lead arms, whether it's 50 seconds with just one side leading, this left arm of Ben's, and then 50 seconds on the next round leading with the other arm, or if you want to switch each rep. I'll give you a halfway count right now, so if you want to switch now, you're welcome to. 25 seconds out. Then our third exercise in the series is that single arm dumbbell bent over row. You'll want something fairly heavy. 10 seconds. Backpacks have been working well for some of you. 5. Put a child in a backpack. Don't zip it.
Unless they've been a little too obnoxious lately.
Yeah. I have thought about buying Bennett suspenders and creating a very industrial coat hook and hanging him for timeout from time to time. Though he is very strategic and quite smart, so he would find a way out of it. 25 seconds here. Nice tight core. There should be quite a bit of weight on that right hand. That is Ben's down hand. Having a lot of weight in the right hand will reduce the amount of effort you're feeling in your back. And if your back's a bit overworked right now, stand tall, shake it out. 10 seconds, and then drop back in when you're ready. 5, and we'll start again with pistol squats. 2. Try to treat the legs the same. Some people have a dominant side and a side that's not as good. Try to convince yourself to move through the same movement pattern you did earlier. And while Ben is coming down, touching the bench, he's not completely unloading that left leg. Maybe down to 30% or so of the actual effort required to get back up, but don't unload completely. Also keep the core braced. 20 seconds here. Then after pistol squat, we're on the pillar push-up, that plank position, up, up, down, down. 10. 5. Good plank position, guys. Could be from knees. Try to keep the core tight so the hips aren't wandering too much individually. Drop in, press in. Wonder if Ben can do a skull crusher from here.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, we're not gonna have him prove it. I was just wondering, and he is for sure. He knows. So, yes. Anyways, back to the workout. 20 seconds here, guys. 15. And then we'll finish the series today, the last series with that single arm dumbbell bent over row. We're then going to spend a few minutes going through 4 different stretches. 2. So last exercise, a lot of weight in the down arm, back stays flat, hips are out. Share the weight evenly in the feet. And you can see from Ben's left-hand side that shoulder blade's got some movement in it. It can be a really crisp or what's the word? I can't think. Concentrated row, or you can get a little bit of body roll in there. The heavier the weight is, probably the more body roll you might need. So it's up to you whether or not you want to keep that left shoulder packed and stationary, or if you want to throw a little bit of body rotation into it. 15 seconds out. Sometimes the body rotation, you find a little bit of obliques, especially probably after the last series, things are a bit fatigued. 10 seconds here. Good exhale on every pull. 5.
Good. Take about 20 seconds. The first exercise for a stretch is on your back.
Five seconds out, we're going to start with the 90-90 hip stretch. Yeah, I think so. That's what I wrote down. But yeah. We're changing the name of it today.
Today, this is what it looks like. And then if you wanted to, you can put your foot up against a wall or an object. I'll come into frame. So if you are lazy like me after workout and you would prefer, you can put your foot against something. And you don't have to use your arms at all. You can relax in that position. So a wall works well, a coffee table, something. You don't have to hold the knee. I like my stretches to be very relaxing. Otherwise, I'm not going to do anything. And you can write a couple emails. 10 seconds out, we'll take 10 seconds, we'll switch sides. 5. Get 10 seconds off. 2. Same thing from this side. And there's 2 different hand positions. Ben's grabbing the front of his knee, which is the more aggressive one from a range of motion standpoint. This would be easier for those with shorter limbs, grabbing the hamstring. Shorter limbs or more mobility issues, just tight glutes, tight hams. 20 seconds out. Our next exercise stretch is going to be the deep adductor stretch. So we're getting a pretty deep squat, pushing the knees out. It's almost, I would call it almost like a standing butterfly of sorts. 5, standing being seated. 2. So get a deep squat, press the elbows out. You can move the body around a little bit to find a little more stretch on one side versus the other. We'll do a single 50-second bout here. If you felt you need another set, just pause us, do a second set, do a third set, whatever you need. It's a good way to open the hips up, obviously. 20 seconds. Our next one, we're gonna go into thread the needle, so quadruped position, reach the arm under the body, rotate chest, rotate shoulders, take your eyes, reach tall. 10. 5. 10 seconds off. Everything on the ground, toes, knees, hands. Reach under, rotate up. Nice slow exhale there. Getting vertical in the hand, not beyond vertical. Ben's right arm is the arm on the ground. There's a lot of shoulder blade movement through that arm. Allow the rib cage to fold in, rib cage opened up. 20 seconds. 10. 2. Take a little breather. We'll switch sides. Reach, draw, exhale. What was the hardest series in that one, Ben? In, out, squat, jumps, mountain climbers, eccentric push-up?
Yep.
I think that was the hardest one of the day.
How about the core one?
I mean, that sucked. 15 seconds. We're gonna go into a kneeling hip stretch next. One knee down, one foot out front, so a lunge base. Ben might use that blue pad for his knee. 2. Lots of core today.
Yeah, the first circuit was core
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Got a good side view from Ben. He's gonna pull the hips under, squeeze the glute, and don't lean back, just drive down in the core, so get a little bit of a stretch, or not a stretch, excuse me, contraction. From here, Ben's hands might press down lightly into his knee, so using his arms and hands kind of to load that core into a crunch position. But it shouldn't be a sprawled out back or anything. It's a nice tight core, nice tight glute, and pull the hips under. 20 seconds out. Don't overdo it. Should feel a combination of hip and quad here. If one's more tight than the other, you'll feel that one. 5. If you wanted more quad, you would have that back foot elevated up, almost like a split squat position. If you wanted more hip, you'd walk the foot out further away from the body, elongate the base, almost getting into like the world's greatest stretch position. So glutes tight, hips rolled under, core snug, press down in those hands just for a little bit of extra contraction. Another 30 seconds here in this stretch, and we're done for the day. Bow, bow. "15 seconds. 10. 2. That's it, guys. Thanks for following along. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave us some comments in the comment area. Let us know how it's going. Talk to you soon.